You're walking home alone, your footsteps echoing faintly against the empty roads. The silence presses in, thick and heavy, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves skittering across the asphalt. Ahead, a lone figure stands motionless beneath the moon's watchful gaze. Your heart skips. Who is this stranger? A fellow night wanderer lost in thought? Or something else entirely? A predator lurking in the dark, waiting for prey? There's no way to know. No badge of intent pinned to their chest, no friendly wave to ease your mind. In the stillness, every possibility feels menacing. Full moons have a way of witnessing things, crimes, whispers, the unraveling of secrets. And tonight you feel like a character in one of those grim tales. Instinct kicks in. You veer away from the streetlights, slipping into the shadows where the glow can't betray you. Better to stay unseen, to move like a ghost through this nocturnal landscape. After all, the night hides intentions as easily as it hides faces. One wrong step, one flicker of attention, and you could become the hunted. It's a simple rule of survival. Avoid the unknown. Assume the worst, and keep moving. Now, stretch that feeling outward, beyond the city, beyond the earth, into the vast uncharted wilderness of the cosmos. The universe sprawls before us, an endless expanse of stars and mysteries, a place where no daylight ever spills across the plains. There's no cozy home to lock yourself inside, no neighbors to call for help, only darkness, cold and infinite, punctuated by the occasional glimmer of distant worlds. Here, the stakes aren't just a late-night encounter, they're the survival of humanity itself. What if that shadowy figure isn't a stranger on a street, but an alien civilization peering at us from the void? What if they're watching, waiting, deciding? This mental exercise isn't new. It echoes through the pages of science fiction. Notably in The Murder Star by Charles Pellegrino and George Zebrowski, a novel that planted the seeds for a chilling idea later dubbed the dark forest theory. That concept crystallized further in Liu Cixin's masterpiece, The Dark Forest, where it became a lens to view the universe's eerie silence. The theory rests on three stark truths. Every living thing craves survival. No one can truly know the intentions of an unfamiliar life form, and without certainty the safest path is to hide, or strike first. Picture the universe as a forest shrouded in perpetual night. Each civilization is a hunter, armed and alert, slipping through the trees with bated breath. They tread lightly, brushing aside branches with trembling hands, knowing that others are out there, others just as cautious, just as deadly. If two hunters cross paths, it doesn't matter who they are, saint or sinner, fledgling or ancient. The only option is to fire, to erase the threat before it can strike. In this forest, trust is a luxury no one can afford. To reveal yourself is to invite destruction. This grim allegory offers a possible answer to an age-old riddle, the Fermi Paradox. Named after physicist Enrico Fermi, it's the nagging question that haunts astronomers and dreamers alike. The universe is unfathomably ancient, nearly 14 billion years old, and vast beyond comprehension. With billions of galaxies, each teeming with stars and planets, the odds of intelligent life emerging elsewhere seem overwhelming. The Drake equation, a mathematical stab at estimating communicative alien civilizations, suggests there should be at least 10,000 in our Milky Way alone, with 20 close enough to notice us. So where are they? Why is the cosmos so deafeningly quiet? The dark forest theory spins a chilling tale to explain it. Perhaps advanced civilizations aren't broadcasting their presence because they've learned the hard way. Noise attracts predators. Maybe the first species to master radio waves sent out a cheerful hello, only to be snuffed out by a more paranoid neighbor. Imagine a galaxy where survival hinges on silence, where every signal, every whisper into the void, is a gamble with extinction. In Liu Cixin's novel, this logic drives a cosmic standoff. Resources are finite, competition is inevitable, and trust is a fairy tale. Civilizations don't just hide, they hunt, eliminating rivals before they can become threats. Consider Earth in this light. For decades, we've been a noisy little planet, beaming radio waves, TV signals, and deliberate messages into space. Shows like I Love Lucy and crackling phone calls ripple outward, faint echoes of our existence. In the 1970s, we even launched the Arecibo message, a bold, structured signal aimed at the stars, practically shouting, "We're here!" If the dark forest holds true, that could be our fatal mistake. What if someone's already heard us? What if they're out there now, tracing those signals back to a blue-green speck, plotting their next move? Physicist David Brin, a NASA consultant, finds this scenario plausible. He argues that even one civilization embracing this ruthless mindset could enforce a galaxy-wide hush. The moment a fledgling species starts chirping, it's silenced, vaporized by a watchful elder race. Our own signals, though, might not be loud enough to doom us. Everyday transmissions weaken as they spread, dissolving into cosmic static long before they reach distant ears. But that raises a wrinkle. Can any civilization stay perfectly quiet forever? A single slip, a rogue broadcast, a careless probe, could unravel the masquerade. And if someone's hunting for signs of life, Earth's bustling biosphere might already be a glaring beacon. The night deepens as you quicken your pace, the stranger's silhouette fading into the fog behind you. Back on Earth, the unknown can be navigated. If danger strikes, there's a chance for rescue. Friends, passers-by, the wail of a siren. In space, there's no such comfort. No cavalry rides to the rescue across light years. If an alien armada descended, we'd be alone, staring into the abyss with no one to hear our screams. But what if the dark forest isn't the whole story? What if its shadows hide not just hunters, but alliances? Picture a coalition of species pooling their knowledge, trading resources, and leaping across the stars together. Cooperation has fueled humanity's rise. Cities, nations, fragile truces, despite our penchant for war. Couldn't extraterrestrials see the same value? Liu Cixin counters this with his chain of suspicion. Even if two civilizations could talk, the gulf between them, distance, culture, time, breeds doubt. A younger race might seem harmless today, but technology doesn't creep. It surges. A sapling civilization could bloom into a juggernaut in mere centuries, turning yesterday's friend into tomorrow's foe. Stephen Hawking agreed, warning against reckless cosmic chatter. He likened it to indigenous tribes signaling conquistadors. History shows how that ends. Dozens of scientists have echoed him, some even petitioning to halt active SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence efforts. Who gets to roll those dice for humanity? A lone researcher? A government? The question hangs unresolved, a moral quandary as vast as the universe itself. Step back to that moonlit street. The fear you feel isn't alien, it's human. We've built the dark forest theory from our own instincts, our wars, our betrayals, our moments of grace. It's a mirror reflecting how we treat each other, then projected onto the stars. Maybe we're wrong to paint extraterrestrials as merciless killers. If they evolved under conditions like ours, carbon-based, water-reliant, they might share our flaws and our virtues. History brims with conquerors crushing the weak, but also with alliances lifting the fallen. Could an alien mind be kinder, wiser, or darker still? The fog thickens as you near home, the stranger lost to the night. You lock the door, safe for now, but the questions linger. Out there, beyond the atmosphere, the universe watches. Is it a forest of hunters, each trigger primed, or a tapestry of voices waiting for the right moment to sing? The Fermi Paradox persists, a riddle wrapped in silence. Maybe they're hiding, maybe they're gone, or maybe, just maybe, they're closer than we think, listening as we stumble through the dark. The wind howls across a prehistoric plain, stirring the dust of a world still young. Beneath a sky streaked with the fiery hues of dawn, two groups of humans stand on the cusp of destiny. One, a band of dark-skinned hunters with striking blue eyes, grip spears carved from bone, their gazes scanning the horizon for game. The other, a tribe of light-skinned newcomers, tills the soil with crude tools, their brown eyes fixed on the tender shoots breaking through the earth. This is no mere meeting of strangers, it's a collision of fates, a quiet war waged not with weapons, but with the slow, relentless march of genes. Over millennia, the newcomers will triumph, their traits weaving into the fabric of Europe's future. This is the story of human evolution, a tale as old as life itself, yet as fresh as the questions it leaves unanswered. Picture Europe thousands of years ago, a sprawling canvas of forests, rivers, and rolling hills. The native hunters, descendants of Africa's primal wanderers, roamed these lands with a grace honed by survival. Their dark skins soaked up the sun's rays, a shield against the ultraviolet blaze of their ancestral homeland. Their blue eyes, a genetic rarity, gleamed like sapphires against the rugged landscape, a fleeting beauty destined to fade. Then came the newcomers, migrants from the sun-scorched plains of the Near East, their lighter skin and brown eyes heralding a new way of life. They brought with them the secrets of the soil, agriculture and animal husbandry, upending the ancient rhythm of the hunt. In this shift, the seeds of dominance were sown. Why did these newcomers prevail? The answer lies in the alchemy of adaptation. Farming demanded a different diet. Grains, milk, and vegetables replaced the protein-rich feasts of meat that sustained the hunters. Vitamin D, once plentiful in the flesh of prey, now trickled in smaller doses from sunlight and dairy. Dark skin, once an asset, became a liability in the cloudy north, hindering the body's ability to synthesize this vital nutrient. Light skin, by contrast, drank in the scarce rays, offering a subtle edge in survival. The brown-eyed farmers carried genes better suited to this new world, and nature, ever the impartial judge, favored them in her grand ballet of selection. Charles Darwin called it natural selection, a slow, elegant dance where the environment partners with life, choosing those best equipped to thrive. It's not a sprint, but a marathon spanning generations, a process that reshapes species over thousands or even millions of years. The hunters didn't vanish overnight. Their blue eyes lingered, a recessive whisper in the gene pool. But the tide of brown-eyed dominance swelled with each passing century. Eastern influences trickled in too, threads of DNA from tribes ancestral to modern Siberians and Native Americans, blending into the European crucible. What emerged was a new archetype, light-skinned, brown-eyed, a testament to adaptability's quiet power. This wasn't destiny carved in stone, it was probability sculpted by circumstance. How long did it take for these traits to reign supreme? 1,000 years? 10,000? The fossil record offers no precise clock, only snapshots of a gradual shift. Yet the outcome is undeniable. The hunters, once lords of the wild, yielded to the farmers, their legacy diluted in the bloodlines of a continent transformed. Evolution, as Darwin saw it, is less about glory than survival. Those who fit the mold pass their essence forward, while the rest fade into the shadows of time. Consider the journey of another creature, Hyracotherium, a dog-sized denizen of ancient forests. 55 million years ago, it trotted on four-toed forelimbs and three-toed hind limbs, a delicate frame suited to a leafy world. Over eons, nature whittled away at its form. Toes merged, legs lengthened, and the middle digit stretched into a hoof. By the time it galloped across plains as the modern horse, towering and swift, countless generations had danced with extinction and triumphed. Such transformations demand patience, millions of years of trial and error, each step a gamble against oblivion. But evolution isn't always a plodding giant. Sometimes it leaps. Biologists Peter and Rosemary Grant, peering through the lens of Princeton's labs, watched Darwin's finches on the Galapagos Islands morph in real time. A drought struck, seeds grew scarce, and birds with stubby beaks struggled to crack the tough husks. Their long-beaked kin, however, thrived, prying open nature's larder with ease. Within a single generation, beak size shifted. A microevolution sparked by climate's cruel hand. Survival hinged on the tools at wing. Short beaks spelled hunger. Long beaks offered hope. Yet this wasn't permanent. A shift in diet, say softer fruits, could shrink those beaks again, proving evolution's flexibility, its readiness to pivot with the winds of change. David Lottie and Paul Ewald, evolutionary scholars, argue there's no rigid script. The tempo of change, fast or slow, fleeting or lasting, depends on nature's hostile forces. Predators, parasites, scorching heat, or biting frost. Darwin himself noted these pressures, the gauntlets that test a species' mettle. For Europe's farmers, the hostile force was a subtler foe, a sun-starved climate demanding new adaptations. Their gene pool brimmed with variety, a buffet of traits for nature to sample. The hunter's darker skin and blue eyes, once assets, couldn't keep pace with a world remade by plow and pasture. The farmer's genes, leaner and more attuned, claimed victory in this silent struggle. Humans, though, are more than mere pawns of biology. Social selection, Lottie and Ewald suggest, sculpted our minds as much as our bodies. The brain's complexity, our knack for cooperation, conflict, and cunning, grew from the push and pull of tribal life. Did the hunters and farmers clash in bloody skirmishes, spears meeting sickles under a cold moon? Or did they trade, marry, and mingle, their bloodlines entwining in peace? The truth lies buried, lost to time's erosion. What we know is the result, a dominant palette of features, light skin, brown eyes, etched across a continent. In Scandinavia, the palette shifts again, pale skin and fair hair, a response to even dimmer skies, a lifeline to vitamin D in a land of long winters. Today, the climate churns faster than ever. Storms rage, ice melts, summers blister. Could this spark fresh changes in humanity's form? A slight tweak in skin tone, a nudge in stature. The where, when, and how remain elusive, veiled by evolution's unpredictability. It's a ceaseless engine grinding forward as conditions shift. Some groups will edge ahead, their offspring better tuned to the new normal, while others falter. That's natural selection's essence, an endless adaptation to an ever-spinning world. Wild-eyed theorists dream bigger. Picture humans with bulbous heads and spindly limbs, like the gray-skinned aliens of sci-fi lore. Or imagine us evolving shark-like flexibility, our bones softening into cartilage for resilience and childbirth. Tempting as these visions are, they lean more on gene editing's promise than evolution's slow grind. Natural selection doesn't chase whimsy, it hones what works, pruning the rest. Our future likely holds subtler shifts, molded by viruses, warming skies, and the societies we build. Prediction is a fool's game. Evolution thrives in the cracks of the unexpected. Zoom out far beyond humanity's flicker to Earth's deep past. 700 million years ago, the planet shivered under a frozen shroud. The snowball Earth hypothesis paints a world encased in ice, from pole to equator, not once but twice. The Sturtian glaciation gripped the globe around 710 million years ago. The Marinoan followed at 635 million, both scars of a cryogenian chill. Geologists unearth their echoes in Namibia's limestone-streaked cliffs, rock-born in warm seas now sandwiched by glacial scars. From space, Earth gleamed white, a marble of frost and silence. Imagine it. No liquid water, just a crust of ice miles thick, dusted with frost from a frigid sky. Temperatures plunged to -50 Celsius, winds howled across barren lows, and the water cycle stalled. Beneath the ice, a dark ocean churned, stirred by tides and geothermal whispers from the deep. Life clung on, huddled near volcanic vents, a faint pulse in a frozen abyss. What triggered this icy doom? The breakup of Rodinia, a supercontinent fracturing over 200 million years, set the stage. As land split, rains intensified, weathering rock and siphoning carbon dioxide from the air, a cooling spiral. Then, in what's now Arctic Canada, volcanoes roared between 717 and 719 million years ago, spewing sulfur aerosols that bounce sunlight back to space. Ice's high albedo, reflecting up to 80% of solar rays, locked the cold in place, a feedback loop of frost. Yet from this desolation sprang life's next act. The Cambrian explosion, igniting 501 million years ago, saw complex creatures diversify. Trilobites, worms, the ancestors of us all. The snowball's thaw, geologists argue, primed the pump, stirring nutrients into a reborn sea. Earth's tale is one of upheaval and renewal, a saga of ice and fire that shaped the dance of evolution still unfolding. Humanity, a latecomer, inherits this legacy, our genes a mosaic of victories, our future a question mark etched in the stars. Imagine a planet adrift in the void, its surface a glistening shroud of ice that stretches from pole to pole. No waves crash against rocky shores, no rivers carve through verdant valleys, only a silent, endless expanse of frost glitters beneath a weak, distant sun. This is Earth, 700 million years ago, locked in the grip of a deep freeze so profound it defies comprehension. The air bites with a chill that sinks to -50 Celsius, and the sky, a pale vault of unrelenting gray, offers no warmth. Beneath the ice, a dark ocean stirs, its currents driven by the faint heartbeat of volcanic vents far below. This is the snowball Earth, a world-turned tomb, yet a cradle for life's next chapter. Long before this icy epoch, the supercontinent Rodinia reigned supreme, a vast mosaic of land masses stitched together across the planet's face. But nothing lasts forever. Around 750 million years ago, Rodinia began to fracture, its seams splitting under tectonic strain. As the continents drifted apart, they unleashed a fury of volcanic eruptions, spewing ash and sulfur into the heavens. These fiery outbursts, stretching across what's now Arctic Canada, lasted millennia, their plumes rising high into the stratosphere. There, sulfur aerosols lingered, a shimmering veil that bounced sunlight back into space, chilling the planet degree by degree. The stage was set for the first snowball Earth, the Sturtian glaciation, a 58 million year odyssey into frost. What transformed Earth into this frozen sphere? The breakup of Rodinia didn't act alone. As rains lashed the newly sundered lands, they eroded rock, leaching carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, a process called weathering that sapped the greenhouse gas, keeping the planet warm. Couple that with a sun 6% dimmer than today, and ice began to creep. It started at the poles, then marched equatorward, its reflective surface, its albedo, amplifying the cold. Ice reflects up to 80% of sunlight, unlike the dark oceans that drink it in. Once the freeze took hold, it snowballed, encasing Earth in a shell miles thick. For 58 million years, the Sturtian reigned, followed by a brief thaw, just 10 million years of reprieve, before the Marinoan glaciation plunged the planet back into ice for another 5 to 15 million years. Beneath this frozen veneer, life clung to existence. Bacteria thrived near geothermal seeps, their microscopic empires, fueled by chemical whispers from the deep. Algae drifted in pockets of meltwater, and primitive single-celled organisms pulsed in the gloom. But something astonishing was brewing. In the isolation of this icy prison, ecosystems became fragmented, sealed off by walls of frost. Some scientists speculate this solitude was a crucible for evolution. Cut off from rivals, certain niches fostered the first stirrings of multicellular life, tiny, fragile assemblies of cells groping toward complexity. It's a theory draped in mystery, its threads too faint to grasp fully, yet it hints at a paradox, a world of death birthing life anew. Then, abruptly, the ice relented. Around 635 million years ago, the Marinoan thaw unleashed a torrent of meltwater, flooding shallow shelves and stirring the oceans into a nutrient-rich broth. What followed was a fireworks display of biology, the Cambrian explosion. Over a mere 40 million years, a blink in geologic time, the fossil record erupted with diversity. Trilobites scuttled across seabeds, worms burrowed through sediment, and the ancestors of every major animal group took shape. The University of California's Museum of Paleontology marks this as the dawn of complex life, a legacy born from the snowball's ashes. But how did a frozen wasteland ignite such a spark? Perhaps the isolation honed new forms, or the thaw's chaos unleashed a genetic free-for-all. The truth dances just beyond our reach. Geologists once scratched their heads at the clues. In Namibia's sun-scorched cliffs, they found limestone, rock forged in tropical seas, sandwiched by glacial scars. Dropstones, pebbles plucked from icebergs and dumped into marine mud, littered the record. These signs whispered of glaciers in the tropics, a puzzle that defied logic. How could ice blanket even the equator? Early skeptics balked, dismissing the snowball Earth hypothesis as fantasy. The deposits looked like cement spilled from a cosmic mixer, not the gentle layers of a warm world. Yet the evidence mounted, paleomagnetic data, charting ice near the ancient equator, deep flooding scars from the melt, until doubt gave way to awe. The hypothesis wasn't always embraced. Conceived in 1989, it stitched together decades of geologic musings, but dating the events proved a thorn. The Sturtians' 58 million year reign dwarfed the Marinoans' fleeting grip. Why the disparity, and why the mere 10 million year gap between them? Climate models, born from modern computing, offered clarity. They painted a planet where ice fed on itself, where volcanic hiccups or a CO2-starved atmosphere tipped the scales. Yet questions linger. The slush ball theory, a milder rival, suggests open oceans persisted, with CO2 building fast to hasten the thaw. But the geologic ledger disagrees. 58 million years of ice isn't a slushy footnote, and the abrupt, scorching climates that followed each snowball defy a gentle fade. Picture that post-glacial dawn, a steamy Earth. its ice retreating under a haze of volcanic gas and rising CO2. The oceans, once locked in darkness, shimmered with possibility. Life didn't just survive, it exploded, rewriting its code in a frenzy of adaptation. Alternative triggers have danced into view, like a 2005 notion that the solar system brushed a molecular cloud in the Milky Way's spiral arms, dimming the sun. Isotope tests, though, found no echo of such a cosmic waltz. The snowball's architects, tectonics, volcanoes, a reflective crust, remain the prime suspects, their fingerprints etched in stone. Could it happen again? Stand on a windswept bluff today, watching snow dust the horizon, and the question feels alive. Science offers comfort. Not soon, not in tens of thousands of years. Today's continents sprawl too wide, their drift too slow to replay Rodinia's drama. Even in harsh winters, ice sheets would halt weathering, letting CO2 climb and warm the air. A brake on runaway frost. But future is a slippery word. Millions of years hence, who can say, Earth's history is a tapestry of upheaval, ice ages, eruptions, the churn of life, and the snowball Earth is but one wild thread. Step into that frozen past, if only in your mind. The air stings, the silence roars, and beneath your feet a planet holds its breath. It's not the Earth we know, with its bustling seas and green hills. This is a stranger, a ghost from eons past, whispering lessons we're still decoding. The snowball. Earth isn't just a tale of ice. It's a mirror to our fragility, a testament to life's tenacity. Without those frigid trials, would we be here pondering the stars? Science digs deeper, peeling back layers of rock and time, chasing answers to a Sisig saga that shaped us all. So here we stand, on a world that's weathered more than we can fathom. The snowball Earth reminds us this planet wasn't always our gentle home. It's been a crucible, a battlefield, a laboratory of chance. If this journey through the ice intrigues you, give it a nod, lift your thumb to the sky. The more who join this quest, the richer it grows. Stick with us, dive into the unknown, and let's meet again where the past meets the possible.